Game of Thrones final season. Now, I personally have never watched it, but I know for a few of you guys that just sent like an electric pulse down your nervous system that sent you into some kind of like catatonic state. I know for a fact it was bad. And it is quite clear why it was bad. It was very rushed, and the producers had a $200 million Netflix deal that they were kind of like rushing towards because they were just done with Game of Thrones. They had no more source material to go off of. They just kind of freestyled it, and it sucked. You know what? That is very clear and not controversial to say. Something very similar is happening to a decent franchise. I wouldn't say it's as like beloved as Game of Thrones, but it's still good. Of course, I'm talking about. I'm not doing a bit. I can't think of the name. Wait. Oh my god, Stranger Things. It actually took me like a minute to remember the name. Yeah, I don't know. There's like some psyop going on that just like government erasing my memories. There is some important details I have to give before I give my little rant about Stranger Things' newest season. And the newest episode isn't out yet, which is going to be the last episode, which I don't even understand how that's possible, but we'll get into that. First disclaimer I have to give here. Wait, let me change my outfit because I look like a Christmas elf and I didn't see myself before. Wait. Anyway, to the point I was making, there are only 2 shows ever that I have not finished after starting it. And I've watched some absolute garbage. For instance, like, I just recently finished Psych, which is like a ripoff of The Mentalist. And the plot of there's 6 seasons to this shit, and the plot of every single episode is the exact. I'm not kidding you. The plot is the same thing for every single episode, and it's like a murder mystery, but you know who the murderer is every time. But somehow it was still enjoyable. It was like absolute garbage, but I still finished it. Okay. However, there's only like 2 actual good shows that I've never finished, and one of them is Suits. Suits season 7 was an absolute drag, and this is like a show that I started watching as soon as it came out. Not as soon as it came out, as soon as it came out on Netflix, and I watched it all the way through, man. Like, I binged that. And then season 7 came, and I had like genuine problems starting up that show again. It was so bad. And the second one is Stranger Things. Those are the only 2. Even The Walking Dead, but I watched that. Even The Walking Dead, I watched until like season 8. And that's like in its mega trash, like that's the mega trash phase. And I still watch it all the way through. Not the newer seasons because those came out after I stopped, like got to the end. And I just thought, no, what, that doesn't count anymore. I did my job. I have a gift for just not talking about the things I want to talk about. Stranger Things sucks. Stranger Things is actually bad. Like, it is full on not a good show anymore. Another disclaimer here, I never watched the 4th season. I tried, okay? I started the first episode of the 4th season. I could not care. I could not be made to care for the 4th season. And to that effect, I can't be made to care for the 5th season. I started the 5th season, and the only reason why I even got to like episode 3 is because I was watching with a friend. You know, when you're like watching with somebody else, you can't really tell if they're not enjoying it or if they are enjoying it. So you just like, you kind of just let it play because it's, you know, you were with friends. Who fucking cares if the show is bad, right? No, we're like constantly laughing at the show because it was just terrible. And she watched season 4. I didn't watch season 4. It was just as confusing for her as it was for me. I'm like, yo, why is there like this super random 1,000-meter tall flesh wall in the Upside Down? Also, yeah, spoiler alert. Also, spoiler alert for the spoiler alerts. It doesn't matter. Everything I spoil has no consequence for the show itself, because this is the main criticism I have, is that nothing that happens in the seasons before the last season have anything to do with the last season. You could genuinely, you could just start watching at season 5. It would make just as much sense as if you watched the 4 seasons before it. Because she didn't understand what's happening. I didn't understand what's happening. It just doesn't make sense. For instance, I've seen this being talked about as well, but I never saw it because I never watched season 4. There's like this creature called like the Demogorgon bats, the Demobats or whatever, which are like the main antagonists. So like, oh, you can't go to the Upside Down because there's evil creatures there that are going to kill you. And then season 5, they just like continuously just go in. They were just never seen again. It just they never talk about it. Same thing, which this is the part that me and my friend just laughed at because it was so terrible. There was a huge power scaling issue in this series where in season 1, like the elderly, like decrepit mother of that like little gay kid gets like attacked by the Demogorgon, right? I cannot be bothered with names either. This is just my own thing. I can't remember names. She gets defended by the guy everyone makes edits about, and he like smashes in the Demogorgon with a bat, right? And they happily ever after, he like Demogorgon goes away or something. I don't fucking remember. And in a lot of these scenes in season 5 as well, you will see people just like kick away a Demodog. Or this is one of the most insane scenes. The mother of one of the guys who's getting attacked has like a broken wine bottle and fends off a Demogorgon. And you might be like, hey, what's the problem with that? That's the same as in season 1. Season 1, they defend the Demogorgon with a bat. They hit it over the head. It fucking goes away. Here she uses a broken wine glass. She stabs it. It goes away. Yeah. There's this little like detail I forgot to mention here. And that's the fact that 3 Demogorgons took down an entire military base with guns, special soldiers, and a single Demogorgon took down like 3 armored vehicles with like 18 special ops in it, who were all shooting at them. And they get massacred. They don't even take him down. That Demogorgon kills like 18 professional soldiers. It does not make sense. The power scaling is stupid.
Actually, cixthoo, you're misinterpreting this. This is all, it's a comedy, you know? It's not meant to make sense.
Okay, fucking sure. It's fiction. Maybe some Demogorgons are stronger than others. We don't know. Okay, sure. How about you explain what happened with the Mindweaver? What happened with the vines? What happened with the poison mist? And for everyone who is watching season 5 right now and doesn't know what I'm talking about, yeah, that's kind of the problem. In the first few seasons, you will have stuff like, oh, you can't actually go to the Upside Down because there's poisonous gas in the Upside Down, and if you breathe it in, you slowly die. That is like one of the major plot points. You need like fucking masks and shit to go into the Upside Down. Tell me why there's entire military bases in the Upside Down, people just walking through there, Hopper like fucking being trapped in there for like 18 months or some shit. No side effects. He's just living life. It is so dumb. It is tragically bad. And here's the thing that makes it so much worse. Again, Game of Thrones last season, the producers full on were just like, burn the ships, just trash it, get 3 episodes out, and then we have a $200 million deal with Netflix and a trilogy deal with Star Wars. I get it. You know what? These Netflix producers have their life like depending on the success of this show. This is maybe what was the only decent Netflix original show. And it is just bad. And I haven't even gotten into the actual writing of the show either. I can't keep saying the word bad again and again, but it is just plainly put. It is not consistent. It is not a good viewing experience. Once when people are talking to each other, it sounds like you're watching a 2010 Disney kids show, like Nickelodeon. We're like, ha, you didn't expect me to come back again. I don't know, or like where they climb the tower and there's like the worst green screen I've ever seen in my life. Like an actual like 1980s blue screen. It's tragic. It's bad. I'm saying even the dialogue between the people sounds inhuman. I'll give you guys the perfect way if you've not watched the show, and this will just explain it all. It sounds like the actors have been paid their paycheck ahead of time. They've been paid the $100 million for the last season, and they know, like a few of these actors who are playing their big roles in Stranger Things, they saw that season 4 was already like going into the shitter, right? Like they're not getting any more jobs after this. They're like, no, just give me my paycheck and I'm out. They're like, hey, watch out. There's a Demogorgon behind you. No! It is just the most unenthusiastic, unrealistic acting performance that I've seen out of all the seasons, which is insane because this should be the climax. It should be like the best part of the show. And there's just so much that just is never explained. Again, it's like happens with some of the monsters in the Upside Down and whatever. Like the Mind Flayer is just gone. It was never explained why he's missing now. Like again, I'm not getting into that again. Story wise, there's also like just like a bunch of stuff missing, and I heard this from somebody else speaking about it, but you actually can't even fully understand what's happening in season 5 without having watched the Broadway special. The Broadway play that they hosted on like 2 nights is canon for the actual show, and you will not understand things if you haven't watched the Broadway play. I don't think I could design a worse viewing experience if I tried. I just feel like it's kind of like a genre twist as well, where in the beginning it was like, ooh, sci-fi, teen drama, like, you know, like it's end of the day, it's still like a feel good, but still like 80s sci-fi. And now it's just like, I don't know, it's like retro slop. And I hate overusing the word slop because now blah blah blah, like slop as an affix has become slop in itself. But you know what I mean? It is actual retro slop, and it's just like, oh wow, they're using an Atari. Oh my oh my god, I remember this car when I was little. I'm gonna watch this show. But they'll have this build up for like 3 episodes, which you think, oh, that's like what, 2 hours maybe? No, each episode is like fucking each episode is 2 hours. These episodes are so long, and they will build up to this huge climax of, ooh, we're going to the Upside Down, ooh, we're gonna fight this, ooh, we're gonna infiltrate something. You know that one like Wojak meme of like nothing ever happens? I guess not like Wojak's like a chud meme, but whatever. It's like nothing ever happens. This is the exact same thing. Nothing ever happens. It's like, ooh, this guy dies, but ooh, 11 has magical powers that can bring people back from the dead. So actually, none of that ever happened. 11 fucking sacrificed herself to kill the Demogorgon. But actually that never happened. And she survives it because I said so. It's just bad. Everything is fake. Like Hopper. They should kill him, please. I don't understand why he's alive, and his reintroduction doesn't make any sense either. So look, Hopper gets killed off. Okay, sure, huge sacrifice. It's emotional, and then he's like, actually, I'm still alive, and because Russia, and because I'm a main character, so I have to stay alive. It is the most childish. I guess it's like Disney Plus. It's like actual Disney prime time kids show. No one ever dies off. The stakes are all fake. Nothing happens. The worst thing that happened so far is, well, I guess like that one kid's dad dies. But like, who even is that? Like, the dad is like in 2 episodes. Cry me a river, man. It's like the most unconnected people ever getting sacrificed. Okay, Bob. Bob is the only good on-screen death. But again, that was season 3. Season 4 and season 5 have a combined like 20 hours of stuff. 20 hours of Stranger Things, which is more than most like entire series. Even Breaking Bad is like 60 hours or something. That's like a third of Breaking Bad with nothing. It's just a bunch of emotion slop nothing. I know there's some weird twist with Vecna and whatever. I'm not gonna spoil that because I don't want to be like a full spoiler, but he's just not scary. Like the Mind Flayer, that shit's scary. The Demogorgon coming after you personally, that's scary. Fucking flesh walls. Oh, okay, there's a huge wall. Don't go towards the wall. Vecna, Epstein reincarnated abducting kids. And he looks like a human if he got like degloved. Yeah, okay. I think it's lost its magic, and it's been losing its magic since end of season 3. Season 4, I just actually couldn't even watch because it was so bad. Every season they bring in a new, worse, bad, and even worse thing that's coming after it. And oh, this is the end boss. But it just doesn't work. Like the Mind Flayer, the huge thing in the clouds. That was already like a global level like thing. Like if that thing comes out, humanity might suffer because of it. And then there's like a huge monster or whatever. okay, I guess that's scary. And then season 5, which is the biggest climax of all, is just a single Demogorgon, basically. Vecna's just one guy, and he abducts, like, one kid every 3 months. Shiver me timbers? Like, how is this, like, a step up? They're trying to compensate for the lack of ingenuity with more stuff and hoping that somehow fills the void. But that just makes it even worse, because it's less Stranger Things per Stranger Things. You know what I mean? They think making it longer will give you more, but it's giving you less. Because you're not increasing the amount of stuff actually happening, you're just making the scenes longer. I've yapped for way too long. Watch until end of season 3, and then stop. Do not, and I repeat, do not start season 4. Season 3 is a perfect ending. If I remember it correctly, they shut down the reactor, Hawkins is saved. There is a beautiful sacrifice of 2 main characters. End of story. Please. I'm not even gonna get in. I'm gotta go into another rant about how I hate it when finals gets like Attack on Titan did this thing, and this is the biggest cancer ever. Is they did a part 2 of the final season. Also, I just remembered. I never finished Attack on Titan because I think it's boring as fuck. Attack on Titan is bad. I'm going on a limb. I could not watch that. I fell asleep. It is bad. Ooh, which this might like discredit my entire take so far, and I know this is a terrible take, and so many people disagree with me. I do not like Attack on Titan. It is, for me, just not a good show. That has to do with the fact that there was a like 4-year gap between me ending season 3 and starting season 4. Whatever like was between there. I have a weird watch history with that, so that might have contributed to it. This, I know for a fact, is terrible, okay? My rating for season 5 is a 20 out of 100. I would rather have not watched that. I recommend you don't either. As always, see you guys. Goodbye.